We're diving deep today into something that can really make or break a trader,
Yeah.
FOMO, that fear of missing out. I mean, we've all seen it,
Right.
right?
No, absolutely.
A stock just takes off, suddenly everybody's talking about it, and you're sitting there thinking, did I just miss like the trade of a lifetime?
Right.
It's a feeling that can push even, like the most disciplined trader into making some pretty impulsive decisions, I think.
It's fascinating how deeply ingrained FOMO is. Even, like you said, even in seasoned traders,
Right.
from an evolutionary standpoint, it kind of makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Staying with the crowd,
Yeah. Yeah.
that was often a survival strategy back in the day.
Right. Safety in numbers.
But
Yeah.
in the world of trading, that instinct, that can quickly turn into a liability.
Yeah. So it seems like our brains haven't quite caught up to the nuances of the stock market, right?
You got it.
This FOMO trading, can you unpack that a bit more for our listener?
Absolutely. FOMO trading is that almost irresistible urge to jump into a trade simply because it seems like everyone else is profiting from it.
Right.
And it happens even when that trade contradicts a trader's own analysis or meticulously planned strategy.
So it's not even just about like potentially missing profits, right? It's
Right.
about letting those emotions kind of hijack your trading plan.
Exactly.
It's like that feeling of if I don't get in right now, I'll miss out on a fortune. Like, for example, when you see a stock just jump 10%, like in minutes, that can trigger a panic response.
Precisely. And that's where the danger lies. FOMO pushes traders to make impulsive decisions, often fueled by these dramatic market events.
Yeah.
And that can completely derail a well-thought-out trading strategy. To understand how to combat this, we need to look at the psychology driving it.
Okay.
One major factor is the scarcity mindset.
So you're saying that FOMO kind of tricks us into thinking this opportunity is fleeting, like it's now or never.
Exactly. Imagine like a hot IPO everyone's buzzing about.
Oh, yeah.
The scarcity mindset makes you feel like you have to get in on day one, even without proper due diligence,
Right.
simply for fear of missing out on that initial price surge.
Right.
But the market's dynamic, always presenting new opportunities. Missing one specific trade, it's not a catastrophe.
That's a really important point to remember, I think. It's easy to get caught up in the hype
Oh, for sure.
and feel like missing this one trade will make or break your entire trading career. But, success in trading is a long game. It's not a sprint.
Absolutely. Another psychological factor fueling FOMO is loss aversion. Studies have shown that the psychological pain of missing out on potential gains is actually greater than the pain of experiencing an equal loss.
So we're more afraid of what we could have won than what we might actually lose.
Pretty much.
That's pretty counterintuitive.
It is, and it's this imbalance that fuels those impulsive FOMO-driven actions. It leads traders to chase trades they would normally avoid if they were thinking rationally. And then there's the ever-present factor of social comparison.
Ugh, social comparison. It's almost impossible to escape in today's hyper-connected world. I'm sure our listener can relate to this. Constantly seeing other successes, especially online in trading communities, it can be a real mind game.
It is. Whether it's social media or trading forums, seeing others seemingly crushing it in the market can create this feeling of inadequacy, pressure to, keep up,
Right.
and ultimately emotionally charged trading decisions just to feel like you're part of the in crowd.
So it's like this perfect storm of psychological factors, scarcity mindset, loss aversion, and then social comparison, all kind of converging to create this powerful force that is FOMO. But here's the good news, right?
Right.
FOMO doesn't have to control our trading. There are proven strategies and tools we can use to overcome it.
Absolutely. And some of those strategies, they might surprise you
Oh,
in how simple yet effective they can be.
Okay.
But before we jump into that, perhaps we should take a moment to let this all sink in.
So we've been unpacking, some of the forces behind FOMO, like the psychological forces,
Right.
and how those instincts that might have helped our ancestors, way back when,
Right.
can actually sabotage us in the trading world.
Absolutely.
But, knowing is only half the battle, right?
Right.
What are some tangible things that a trader can do to actually, combat this FOMO
Yeah.
when it's happening?
Well, self-awareness is absolutely critical.
Yeah.
This helps you determine if it actually fits your strategy or if you're straying from it because of, FOMO.
Yeah, it's like a quick gut check before you make the trade.
Exactly.
I like it. What other questions would be on this checklist?
Another crucial one is, what's the rationale behind this trade? Am I chasing price momentum or reacting to news headlines?
Okay.
This prompts you to examine the reasons for actually entering the trade. Are you making a decision based on solid analysis?
Right.
or simply reacting to market hype or fear of missing out.
That's a great point. It's so easy to get like swept up in the excitement of like a hot stock
Absolutely.
or react emotionally to news headlines.
Yeah,
We need, some way to disentangle our own analysis from the noise and emotions of the market.
right.
What else would be on this checklist?
One more I find helpful is what are my predetermined entry and exit points for this trade?
Oh, okay.
This reminds you of your risk management strategy,
Right.
something that's easily forgotten when FOMO takes over.
Creating that pause, that moment of reflection before taking action is so valuable.
It really is.
A simple checklist could, prevent so many costly mistakes fueled by FOMO. Now, earlier we were talking about trading simulators.
Yeah.
And you mentioned simulator.com specifically.
Right?
How can using simulators help train our minds to resist FOMO?
One effective approach is to deliberately put yourself in those FOMO-inducing scenarios within the simulator.
Okay.
Many platforms, including simulator.com, they allow you to customize market conditions
Right.
and create specific scenarios like sudden price spikes or news events that trigger surges in trading volume.
So we're basically recreating those real-world situations that tend to trigger our FOMO.
Exactly. It's like a flight simulator for pilots.
Okay.
They practice handling emergencies in a controlled environment
Right.
before encountering them in a real plane.
Right.
By doing this in a simulator, you're practicing your FOMO fighting techniques in a safe setting.
You get to test your checklist, your trading plan,
Yeah.
and your ability to, resist chasing trades, but without any real financial risk.
Exactly.
That's awesome. It's a fantastic way to practice staying disciplined and, developing that mental resilience we need to actually succeed in the market.
Absolutely.
We've talked about the individual trader, but how about, the role of the trading community?
Yeah.
Can interacting with other traders, either amplify or mitigate FOMO?
It's interesting. The trading community is kind of a double-edged sword
Okay.
when it comes to FOMO.
Right.
You can be a source of valuable support,
Right.
education, and camaraderie,
Right.
which can be incredibly helpful, especially for newer traders.
I can imagine it would feel encouraging to connect with others who understand the challenges and the triumphs of trading.
For sure.
It can help us feel less alone in our journey.
Absolutely.
But how do we make sure that our trading community isn't actually feeding our FOMO?
It's all about being mindful of who you're connecting with
Okay.
and the information you're consuming.
Seek out communities that emphasize education, risk management, and long-term growth, rather than just hype and quick profits.
So surrounding ourselves with people who are, in it for the long haul
Right.
and focused on building, sustainable trading practices.
Precisely. And look for mentors and peers who are transparent about their own journeys, both the successes and the setbacks. Be cautious of those who constantly boast about their wins and make it seem like trading is a guaranteed path to riches.
It's like anything else in life, right?
Yeah.
There's no overnight success in trading.
Right.
It takes time,
Yep.
effort, and a willingness to learn from our mistakes.
Absolutely. Trading is a skill that requires patience and perseverance. It's important to find a community that embraces that mindset and provides support during those inevitable challenges.
I'm hearing a recurring theme here.
Yeah.
Patience. It seems like, cultivating patience might be one of the best ways to actually manage FOMO.
You're absolutely right. Patience is an essential quality for any trader.
Right. Especially those prone to FOMO.
Right.
It helps us avoid impulsive decisions, stick to our plan, and wait for those high probability setups that actually align with our strategy.
Yeah. Learning to trust the process.
Right.
And avoid the urge to chase every exciting opportunity. Easier said than done, I'm sure, especially when it seems like everyone else is, we're raking in profits.
It is. But with practice and the right mindset, we can develop that patience. It allows us to detach from the emotional fluctuations of the market and make more rational and calculated decisions. It helps us focus on the bigger picture and not get swept away by short-term trends.
So patience isn't just about, waiting for the right trades. It's a mindset.
Right.
It's about, embracing the fact that trading is a journey, not a
Yes.
destination with its share of ups and downs. But by being patient, disciplined, and focused on our goals, we increase our chances of success.
Beautifully said. Patience is a valuable skill that transcends trading. And when it comes to navigating the world of investing, it can be the key to overcoming FOMO and achieving long-term success.
I love that. Patience is a superpower. Now, I know we've discussed quite a bit already, but is there anything else a trader can do to, help manage their FOMO?
Journaling can be incredibly valuable
Oh, okay.
for reflecting on your trading activity and personal growth as a trader.
Okay.
And it can really help to, identify and manage FOMO.
So we're talking about like a trading journal where
Yes.
we record our trades, our thoughts, emotions, and like observations about the market.
Exactly. It's like holding up a mirror to our trading psychology.
Oh.
By writing down those thoughts and feelings before, during, and after trades, you can start to see patterns in your behavior and pinpoint those FOMO triggers.
Oh, okay. So once those triggers are identified, then we can develop strategies to manage them. So for example, if someone notices that they're more susceptible to FOMO when trading, specific types of stocks,
Right.
or during certain market conditions, they can avoid those situations or adapt their trading plan.
Exactly. It's about taking proactive steps to minimize your exposure to those high-risk situations.
Yeah.
Journaling can also help you process emotions and learn from mistakes.
We've all made those FOMO-driven trades that we later regret.
Oh, absolutely. It happens.
Yeah.
But through journaling, you can actually analyze those trades in a more objective way.
Uh-huh.
You can detach from the emotions surrounding the decision
Right.
and look back and ask yourself, what was I thinking? What could I have done differently? What lessons can I learn from this?
Right.
It's a powerful tool for improvement.
I love that. It's like having a therapist for our trading psychology.
You got it.
We've covered a lot of ground, in this FOMO deep dive.
We have.
We've explored the psychology behind it, the dangers it presents,
Right.
and a range of strategies, for managing it. We've talked about checklists, simulators,
Yep.
trading communities, and journaling.
All of these can be incredibly helpful tools for a trader, especially someone struggling with FOMO.
Yeah. But before we wrap up this segment, there's one more thing I want to touch on.
Okay.
Earlier, you mentioned that there might be like a flip side to FOMO,
Huh.
a way to actually use it to our advantage.
Right.
Can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely. While FOMO can be destructive,
Right.
it can also be a powerful motivator.
Okay. It's like the saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we can use FOMO as, fuel for growth.
Absolutely.
Maybe it can push us, beyond our comfort zones
Right.
to achieve even greater success in the market.
I like that analogy. The key is to channel that energy into productive actions
Right.
and not let it drive you toward
Mm.
impulsive decisions.
Right.
It's about reframing our perspective on FOMO.
Okay.
Instead of seeing it as something to suppress or eliminate,
Yeah.
see it as a signal, a sign that something is happening
Okay.
that's captured your attention.
Like a wake-up call.
Precisely. It's a sign that there's an opportunity out there worth exploring.
Right.
But instead of blindly chasing it, we can use FOMO as a prompt to, dig deeper, to do more research and analysis.
So instead of making a rash decision based on emotion, we're using FOMO as a starting point for a more thoughtful decision-making process.
Exactly. You're not ignoring your FOMO, but you're not letting it take control either. You're using it as a catalyst for deeper investigation.
I see what you mean. So for example, let's say I'm feeling FOMO about a, hot stock that's been all over the news.
Right.
Instead of rushing to buy it, I can use that feeling as motivation to learn more about it. Look into the company's financials, check out industry trends, and really try to understand the fundamentals behind the hype.
Exactly. This research and analysis process is incredibly empowering. It puts you in control of your FOMO
Okay.
and allows you to make more informed decisions based on facts and data rather than just emotions and speculation.
We're actively engaging with the market instead of just reacting to it.
Absolutely.
We're using FOMO to learn and grow.
That's it. This learning process can be very rewarding. It helps you build your skills, increase your confidence, and ultimately achieve more success.
So in essence, we're using FOMO to hack our brains, turning a potentially destructive emotion into something positive.
We're taking that raw energy and channeling it into a more productive path.
That's a fascinating way to think about it. And honestly, it feels like something all traders, regardless of their experience level, can benefit from.
I agree. Whether you're a seasoned trader or just starting out, learning to harness the power of FOMO can have a huge impact on your trading journey.
I think that's a perfect note to kind of wrap up this part of our FOMO deep dive. We've discussed a lot,
We have.
from the psychology behind this feeling
Yeah.
to practical strategies for managing it, to even using FOMO to our advantage.
Right.
We've covered a lot of ground.
But there's one more crucial element
Okay.
I think we should touch on before we conclude our discussion.
Right.
We've talked about harnessing that energy of FOMO and how it can actually be a powerful motivator in the markets.
Uh-huh.
But before we wrap up our deep dive today,
Yeah.
I think it's important to discuss one final crucial element to trading
Okay.
and really to life in general.
I'm intrigued. Lay on me. What is the secret weapon we need to combat FOMO and find, true success in trading?
It's the power of perspective.
Perspective.
Yes, being able to step back from the daily chaos of the markets
Right.
and see the bigger picture. It's about zooming out
Okay.
and remembering why you're trading in the first place.
So it's about keeping our eyes on the prize
Exactly.
and not getting bogged down by the, emotional ups and downs that are just inevitable in trading.
It's about staying grounded and focused on your long-term goals. Perspective reminds us that trading is just one piece of the puzzle.
Right.
It's not the be-all and end-all of life.
That's such an important point, I think, because it's easy to get so caught up, right, in the pursuit of profits and kind of lose sight of what really matters.
Absolutely.
And, when we have that perspective, when we can detach from the, emotional roller coaster of the market
Right.
and see things, more objectively, we're less likely to be swayed by FOMO or really any other, destructive emotion.
Exactly. Perspective allows us to make decisions that are aligned with our values, our goals, and our overall well-being.
Right.
And that's what leads to true fulfillment, both in
Yeah.
trading and in life.
This has been an incredibly insightful conversation. We've really gone deep into the psychology of FOMO
We have.
and explored a wide range of strategies, for managing it effectively.
Absolutely. We've covered everything from understanding the psychological roots of FOMO
Right.
to developing practical techniques like creating those checklists and using trading simulators. We've also discussed the importance of finding a supportive community
Right.
and the power of journaling for self-reflection and growth.
And perhaps most importantly, we've learned that FOMO doesn't have to be the enemy.
Right.
By understanding it, we can harness its energy and use it to, fuel our growth as traders.
To our listeners out there, remember to stay curious, never stop learning, and always prioritize your own well-being.
Yeah.
Trading can be an exciting and rewarding endeavor, but it's crucial to approach it with a healthy mindset and a long-term perspective.
That's fantastic advice. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into FOMO.
My pleasure.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights that will help you on your trading journey.
Until next time, trade smart, stay focused, and remember the power of perspective.